Welcome back, my faithful readers. I truly appreciate your loyalty. Your continued support helps my channel grow. Please like and subscribe and drop a comment on where you're listening from. I want to see how my stories are going. Now let's get back to the story. Things were going well until about 3 weeks later. Christopher and I had gotten back together. He apologized for flying off the handle like he'd done, and we picked up where we had left off. One evening, after a date, I invited him over. He was overjoyed. He had a weird quirk. He always insisted that we shower after being intimate. So, we jumped into the shower afterwards. For me, a shower meant getting wet, soaping up and rinsing off. Chris made showering into a ritual. I left him to it and got out. As I was drying off, I noticed that the mirror was crooked. "Hey, babe, when you get out of there, could you straighten the mirror for me? It's crooked," I told him. "No problem. Be out in a minute," he replied. Chris came into the bedroom with a towel wrapped around his lower half and another around his neck. He was frowning. "The mirror wasn't crooked, Mel," he said. I was in the middle of squirming into one of the few sexy nighties I had. I paused to look at him. "It was crooked," I insisted. I quickly finished dressing and brushed past him to go look for myself. The mirror was straight again. I examined it from top to bottom and couldn't understand how it was straight again. I returned to the bedroom to find Chris getting dressed and talking on his cell. "You're leaving?" I asked him after he'd hung up. "Sorry, sweetie. I have to go to the hospital." "The whole third floor's computers shut down," he replied. He pulled me into his arms and kissed me clear down to my toes and left. I was bummed. I was looking forward to a night of snuggling. I hadn't known how satisfying snuggling was until I'd experienced it with Chris. His body was all kinds of wonderful, hard in some places and soft in others. His chest was the perfect pillow. I looked across the room to the bench at the foot of the bed and grabbed the body pillow I'd thrown there to make room for Chris. After tossing and turning for an hour, I got up and went in search of anything that would help me sleep. It was Saturday night, and I didn't have to work Sunday, and it would be nice if I got a good night's rest. I wasn't in the mood for warm milk. Besides, it was too much work. I grabbed a bottle of white and a glass and went back to bed. I drank half the bottle and slid down to fall into a fuzzy sleep. Sometime in the wee hours of the morning, I was awakened by the whirring sound of my closet conveyor. Had Chris come back? I got up to look. I stood just outside my bedroom because Grandma hadn't raised a fool. "Chris? Is that you?" I called out. The conveyor stopped, and then I saw a shadow swish past the couch and into the bathroom. Call me stupid, but I hurried after the shadow, and I couldn't be sure that I saw what I saw. The mirror was adjusting itself when I turned on the light. What the hell? "Sasha, can you move?" I asked, feeling scared and ridiculous at the same time. "Sasha, I asked you a question," I insisted after the mirror didn't answer. I stepped closer to the mirror to peer into it. I didn't see anything out of the ordinary until I scrutinized its borders. Against the wall, toward the top of the mirror, was a wire I was positive was supposed to be behind the mirror and in the wall. How did it come to be where it was, if someone hadn't moved the mirror? Just then, Sasha's borders lit up. "Is he gone?" "Is who gone?" I countered. "Your boyfriend, that's who. He was in here pushing and shoving me. I think some of my wires got loose." I felt relief clear down to my toes. Chris must have tried to straighten the mirror when I asked him to and somehow dislodged some things. "I'll call the company to come check you out later." "Can you still communicate with my closet?" "I was trying to when you called out his name. I thought he was going to come in here and kill me." I chuckled. "You're being a bit melodramatic. Chris is harmless," I said. "Something's wrong, but I can't tell what it is." "I need some TLC," whined Sasha. "Okay, I'll make the call as soon as I can. I'm going back to bed and stop fiddling with stuff in the closet. You scared me half to death." "Sorry, love. Go get your beauty sleep." Later, after I had gotten as much sleep as I was going to get, I got up and changed into a pair of sweats. After eating some oatmeal to settle my stomach, I made the call to Mirror Mirror Incorporated. I explained the situation, and they said they would send someone later to check on my unit. I went to the bathroom to let Sasha know that someone would be along later and stopped short to stare at the mirror. The surface was undulating like the surface of water would if it were disturbed. Sasha, what's happening? It stopped moving and the borders lit up. I'm doing a diagnostic. Did you call the tech? I nodded and realized how silly it was to nod. Yeah, they'll be here this afternoon, I replied. Good, I found out what's wrong, but I can't fix it. Well, don't worry. The tech will fix you right up. At least you can speak. Lucky for me, this is Sunday, and you won't have to do anything for me until tomorrow. So relax or whatever you need to do. I'm a machine. Machines don't relax, Sasha corrected me sullenly. It's just a term. Shut off or something so that whatever is wrong doesn't get worse. Fine. And the lights went out. The tech came 2 hours later, and he went into the bath and closed the door behind him. It wasn't like I wanted to watch him take my mirror apart or anything, so I busied myself in the kitchen. Chris called and I invited him over for dinner. He accepted and I was inspired to make a night of it. The tech came out of the bath a half hour later and he even cleaned up after himself. I approached him while he was putting his tools away. Were you able to fix what was wrong? I asked him. He turned to me and I swore his face went in and out of focus like a hologram. He adjusted the cap on his head and looked at me. He was just an ordinary man, and he smiled and nodded. Yes, ma'am. The unit had a wire loose. You must be careful not to move the mirror, otherwise wires get pulled. It was an accident. So, the unit is all fixed now? Yes, the unit is fixed, he confirmed. Is there an invoice I have to sign? No, ma'am. For the first year, there is no charge for adjustments made to your unit. Just sign here and I'll be on my way. He handed me a pad and I signed it after I read it. I saw him to the door and returned to the bath. Sasha? Hey, girlfriend, how's tricks? Oh, good, you're back. Everything working now? Oh, yes, girlfriend. Everything is just dandy. Great. Tomorrow I'm having lunch with a new client and I need to appear friendly and businesslike, I began. Is this client male, female, or fabulous like me? He is the altogether gorgeous Julius Benton of Visage, the cosmetics company. Sasha gave a little squeal. This is already in the bag, honey. You use all his products. I know, right? However, he is rumored to be difficult to work with. What's In magazine is looking to stay in business, not go down in flames. Benton has been known to destroy companies if he's not happy. Have I steered you wrong yet? Don't worry. You are going to have lunch with him and wow him, you hear. Don't take this the wrong way, Sasha. I can trust you to make me look good, but I'm the one who makes it work. The way I look won't be enough to sway Benton, and then I risk the magazine if he's not happy later. Take my word for it, Benton is in the bag. You are such a cheerleader, you know that? That's me. Dinner was a success, and so was dessert. I was lying in bed stretching when I heard Chris screech in the shower. I went to investigate and found him standing outside the shower, dripping water on my floor. Are you all right? I asked him, eyeing my royal blue bath rug getting soaked. Yeah, the water just turned cold suddenly. I can't get it to turn warm again, he explained. I frowned. That's odd, that's never happened before. I'll have the super look at it in the morning, I told him. I think I'll go home, he said flatly. Must you? I asked. I learned long ago that Chris was a weirdo, and I either had to take him as he was or move on. I let him kiss me at the door and said goodbye. On a hunch, I walked back into the bath, but nothing was amiss. I reached over to turn on the water in the shower, and the water was hot again. Had he been patient for just a few more minutes, he'd have been able to finish his shower, I thought. Still, I was going to mention the lack of hot water to the super in the morning. Julius Benton, 50, was a jackass of a human being. Easy on the eyes, but a royal jerk. I wanted to impress him, so I took him to Plato's. I used my press pass to get us in, but I needn't have bothered. He sent his salad back. Plato's was famous for their salads, and that jerk sent his back. There was nothing wrong with it, of course. I could see right through him. He wanted attention and was well known enough to get it. Bouchard himself came out to ask about the salad. He offered to bring him another and assured us that lunch was on the house. I was embarrassed but impressed. I didn't have to shell out $150 for lunch. Well played, I told him when we were alone again. That was nothing, but I was curious to see what your reaction would be. I know I have a reputation. I need someone who won't buckle under when I have a tantrum. Was that one of them? I asked as I continued to eat my salad. A mild one. I don't like pimentos in my food. The salad had at least 6 in it, he said haughtily. There was one on my fork and I showed it to him. Like this one? He scrunched up his nose. Yes, that. Had I known you didn't like them, I would have warned you to order something different. This salad is full of them, I told him. I think we're in the beginnings of a satisfying relationship, Melanie Hunter. Draw up a contract and call me tomorrow. I'll send my lawyer to look it over. Julius Benton stood up and walked stiffly out of the restaurant, making me wonder if he had joint problems. Since lunch was free, I stayed to eat every bit of it. Then I went back to my office to give Jerry the good news. He didn't think I could do it, but I did. After I told him, Jerry made an official announcement to the rest of the staff about the acquisition. I got a standing ovation, with Ashley clapping the loudest.